Hello and welcome to the new and improved MathLinks Core 2nd edition, grades 6 through 8. We're excited that you're about to embark on this journey and want to help you get acquainted with your new mathematics program. Of our many goals for you and your students, we definitely want to bring joy back to the classroom. In this session, we address navigating the student packet. So let's get started. If you haven't already done so, we highly recommend watching the initial About MathLinks video. It's pretty short, but it gives a nice overview of the features of all three MathLinks programs. This video we're starting now gets into the specifics of what's in a MathLinks student packet. Big ideas are a major theme of our new MathLinks courses. We've been very deliberate in making connections within courses that makes the content more meaningful to students and more efficient for instruction. This is one reason we can address all grade level standards in each course in about 100 class hours. Here's what our student packets look like, and there are 10 per course. They're all structured exactly the same, starting with a word bank, an opening problem, 3 or sometimes 4 multi-hour lessons, a review section, and a student resources section. We'll address each of these as we go. This is a typical word bank with the main vocabulary in a unit. We always recommend addressing new words in context as they arise. Vocabulary is underlined in the packet the first time the word comes up, and students and teachers are reminded to address it in the word bank. We also recommend that the teacher helps students unpack the precise definitions provided in the student resource section so that students can write the information in their own words and include examples and pictures when helpful. This particular opening problem has no information on the student page. So for guiding instruction, teachers can use our lesson notes, a slide deck, or an alternative feature that we provide. The intent of most opening problems is to generate interest for the unit. Some of them can be completed within a class hour, but many require students to learn more concepts and skills and then come back to finish the problem later, which is how this one goes. Here's an example of one slide in a deck that can be used to guide instruction for this problem. The Getting Started video for the teacher edition gives you more information about options for delivering instruction that best suits your preferences and your students' needs. The start of each of the multi-hour lessons looks like this. The gray box describes goals of the lesson, and the lesson's content and practice standards are listed. Getting started problems set the lesson in motion by reviewing or previewing important skills and concepts. If more just-in-time review is needed, this is where you'd select activities from our essential skills found in unit resources on the teacher portal. After getting started, a lesson will usually dive into important concept development. Here we see another very open student page where teachers guide instruction to best fit their students' needs and learning styles. Teachers can choose to use direct and explicit instruction, or leave the lesson more open for exploration. And then concept development is followed by skills practice. And a dose of problem solving is always mixed in. This 7th grade circle area lesson is a nice place to revisit probability from an earlier unit. Additionally, many of our problems within a student packet are great opportunities for students to self or peer assess using the MathLinks rubric. You can watch the Getting Started video on activity routines to learn more about using the MathLinks rubric for both formative and summative assessment. When you look closer at the teacher edition, you'll see several optional journal prompts. One consistent prompt comes at the end of every lesson. Students turn to the front cover of the packet and rate themselves on a scale from 0 to 3 on the main objectives of the lesson. Then they revisit their ratings at the end of the unit, noting any perceived improvements made. Now on to the review section. There are usually about 3 activities that address the major goals of the unit, most of which are great for collaboration. Modifications on many of these may be made when teacher preference calls for individual student work. One of the favorite activity routines, so popular that they're now in all units, are poster problems. Though mentioned in the activity routines getting started video, poster problems have their own getting started video to provide more detail. Though they may seem complicated to pull off at first, after doing one of them, students start to catch on and really enjoy them. Every review section has a crossword vocabulary activity and a 2 to 3 page set of spiral review problems, so that important skills from previous units are not forgotten. And the review section culminates with our signature reflection page. At the top, students determine which big ideas of the course are addressed within the unit. And not only do they identify those big ideas, they also draw lines between them to note important connections that are made. Students continue the reflection page by going back to the front cover, as noted before, and seeing which lesson goals they improved on. Then they focus on at least 1 or 2 standards for mathematical practice addressed in the packet. And finally, students are pointed to a particular connection to ponder and discuss as the unit is being wrapped up. The student resources section begins with precise definitions for the important vocabulary of the unit. The definitions are followed by helpful examples and explanations. And at the end are complete lists of content and practice standards for the unit. To find a digital version of the student packet on the teacher portal, log in and choose your grade level, and then the unit that you're interested in looking at. And note that this is a non-print version of the packet, but it can be used for reference or for projection. And there's a text file that can be used for translating certain problems and directions into any language of your choice using translation software. Incidentally, there is a digital student packet option for students to work in either alongside or instead of the hard copy version. And there's a separate student portal for that. Other than the fact that one is paper and the other is electronic, these 2 versions of the student packet are identical. Thanks for watching, and if you have questions, please reach out to us anytime.